Hello ninjas, this is Kat from Kettlebell Academy and this is your lunge video. I will cover arm positions, kettlebell hold variations and most common lunge variations that we use at the Academy. Even without additional weight, your arm positions change the intensity of your exercise. First is the Frankenstein or a freestyle arm variation. This is where you can freely use your arms for balance. Second is the teapot, with your hands on your hips. This is a great preparation for kettlebell hanging anchor hold. Next is the mummy. Simply raising your arms up and putting your hands across your shoulders shifts your center of gravity higher. This is a great preparation for kettlebell front rack. The butterfly is your next progression. Locking your hands behind your head shifts your center of gravity even higher. This is a great preparation for kettlebell shoulder rack. And finally, the Samson. This is an overhead lockout. Your goal is to keep your arms as straight and vertical as possible. This is a preparation for a kettlebell overhead anchor. And now, kettlebell hold variations. Starting with single hanging anchor. Single simply means you're using one kettlebell. Second is single front rack. This is where you rack the kettlebell so it nestles in the crook of your elbow in front of your chest. Third comes single shoulder rack, where you rest the kettlebell in the crook of your shoulder. This rack forces you to stay upright and is easier on your shoulder and grip. Single overhead anchor is one of the most challenging anchors. This is where you lock the kettlebell overhead on a vertical arm. Moving on to doubles. A double hanging anchor is simply a double kettlebell version of a hanging anchor. Double front rack is challenging for your shoulders and your thoracic spine. Double shoulder rack allows you to use heavier weights to challenge your legs because it allows your shoulders and grip to rest. Double overhead anchor is the most advanced of all the basic kettlebell holds. It requires healthy shoulders, flexible thoracic spine, strong abdominals, and engaged glutes. And now, lunge variations. The simplest of all lunges is a reverse alternating lunge. Lunge rules are almost universal across all variations. Keeping your feet hip-width apart will prevent you from overbalancing and falling. Notice that both of my feet are facing forward at all times. A variation of a reverse lunge is reverse lunge and the knee kick. This is a non-alternating variation, meaning that you will complete all the reps on one leg before proceeding to complete all the reps on the other leg. Just a side note, I am demonstrating these exercises with a kettlebell hold, generally a shoulder rack. However, all of these exercises can be performed with any of the kettlebell holds or arm positions. Second variation is an alternating forward lunge. Despite its popularity in beginner programs, this is actually quite an advanced exercise. So I recommend starting with a lighter weight. there are two common errors in forward lunges. First one is jerking back with your torso. This can lead to severe lower back strain. Instead, keep your back straight, use a lighter weight, and push through your legs. Second mistake is allowing your spine to collapse forward and rounding your back. This can likewise lead to back injuries. Instead, focus on maintaining a straight and vertical torso. Pull your shoulders back and lighten your weight if you need to. A non-alternating forward lunge is a more intense exercise than the alternating one, simply because you must complete a number of reps on one leg before proceeding to complete that number on the other leg. If you have never done forward lunges before, start with the alternating version before proceeding to the more intense non-alternating variation. You might have noticed that I'm lunging with the leg opposite to the side that I'm holding the kettlebell on. I do this in all of my non-alternating exercises simply because it facilitates structural balance of the body. It is a personal preference and not a technique indication. Side lunges are a great exercise for strengthening inner thighs and glutes. Be smart and use good judgment on the depth that you go to. Only go as deep as you can with perfect form. Here is a side view showing that my heel always stays down and my back always stays straight. Again, it doesn't matter how deep you go as long as you maintain perfect form. The non-alternating side lunge is a great space saver, however, it is a more intense variation, since you have to complete all the reps on one side before changing to the other side. A more advanced side lunging variation is called Cossac lunge. In this lunge, you lift the toes of the trailing leg. This allows for a deeper range of motion, thus engaging more muscles. The non-alternating version is simply more intense and again is a great space saver. In this exercise, almost all of the weight comes onto the working leg. Start with side lunges to build your leg strength. Alternating seesaw lunge is simply a combination of a forward lunge and a reverse lunge, performed once on each leg. All the lunge rules apply. This is an intense exercise, so start with a lighter weight and observe perfect form. Up for a real challenge? Try seesaw non-alternating lunge. Here you will have to perform all of your seesaw lunge reps on one side before moving on to the other side. This exercise is not for the faint of heart. Most people don't need a kettlebell for this exercise. If you are an absolute ninja, try the seesaw lunge and knee kick, an advanced variation of a non-alternating seesaw lunge. This is a monster of strength, balance, coordination, and power. Very few people need a kettlebell for this one. Star lunge. As the name suggests, you will be going forward, sideways, and backward. If you're doing the alternating variation, you will do forward, sideways, backward on the right, then forward, sideways, backward on the left, and so forth. If you don't have that much space, and are willing to work a little bit harder, use the non-alternating variation, completing all your reps on one leg, then moving on to the other side. Curtsey lunge is a little goodie because it works your gluteus medius muscle. You don't need to use heavy weight for this lunge. Instead, focus on observing perfect form. Brace your abdominals, keep your torso facing forward and your back straight. The non-alternating curtsey lunge? Well, you know the drill. You will complete all the reps on one side before moving on to the other side. Please note that the leg that you're working is the one that stays put, not the one that's moving back and forth. If you have the space for it, definitely include walking lunges in your regimen. They are not as challenging as forward lunges, but are more challenging than reverse lunges. You can load them up, or you can use body weight. Walking lunge is always a winner. Tactical lunge can be walking or stationary. This exercise is not as easy as it looks. The challenge lies in maintaining a straight back even as your torso leans forward to pass the kettlebell under your leg. Keeping your back straight is imperative. And finally, the glute killer, jump lunge. Start in a split squat position, jump up, switch your legs in mid-air, land in a split squat position. Resist leaning forward, try to maintain your torso in a vertical position. Well folks, I hope this keeps you busy. Happy lunging and see you next time at Kettlebell Academy.